Let's see. I guess I started the decathlon when I first came to college, and I guess the reason for me starting the decathlon was because I was recruited as a decathlete, and I came to Zoo Pacific University. They had a pretty decent history in decathletes that they've produced, and so I said, okay, why not? I'll try it, and that's what they recruited me as. And as I started it, you fall in love with it. It's an event that I always tell people that chooses you. You don't really choose it. And so as soon as I tried it, it was like I was hooked, and I wanted to get better, and I wanted to try harder and do better, and kind of just evolved from there. I always try to tell her, I don't think people realize how extremely hard the decathlon is. I think, first of all, I always say that, people say that we do the decathlon because we can't do any individual events. And I always tell people, well, no, you guys got it all wrong. I said, we do the decathlon because we can. It's the individual event people that can't do the decathlon, and that's why they do just one event. Because think about it, if you could play both ways in football and play all the positions, you would. You know what I mean? Why not? That's how I think about it. I mean, I think if I was to stop doing the deck and I was to have trained the last 10 years for one event, I think there's a few events that I could have done very, very well in. But, I started doing the decathlon and found out that I could do it. I know a lot of individual event guys that have tried to do the decathlon and can't because it was very, very difficult. But I know a lot of decathletes who have stopped doing the decathlon and done individual events. So, I don't know. I guess you guys can decide, but that's my take on it. I was definitely pleased with the silver medal in Athens. I think ever since I started decathlon, my coaches and I have always said that 2008 was going to be the Olympics, that we were going to go for the gold. 2004 we looked at as just a training for me. It was one of those things. I'd never been to the Olympics before. I was lucky enough to have had my first international competition with like World Championships in 2001. I think that prepared me very well for the 2004 games, and then I think the 2004 games prepared me very, very well for the 2008 games. So like I said, from the very beginning we've always said 2008 was going to be the games, and even after 2004 we said 2008. I remember telling people 2008 is really the Olympics that we're going to try and bring home the gold, and that's what we did. And I think that says a lot for myself and my team. The fact that we knew the path that we were taking, we knew exactly what we wanted to do, and we went out and we accomplished that. I don't think there's very many decathletes that have been able to say, no, we knew this was going to be our Olympics, and for 8 years had a plan going into that Olympics, and then got to the Olympics and actually accomplished it. We don't really make big changes to my training. We make little changes, and we take some things out and we bring some things in. But we understand that the body adapts and it learns, but it also we're creatures of habit, and so to take something out and make a big huge change would I think set me back a little bit. And so like I said, we tried to evolve our training every year, but just little changes here and there. Most of the training, I think, the changes that we made over the last 4 years leading to Beijing was basically mental changes. There's you're always trying to get better at technique and that sort of thing, but a lot of the mental intensity and the actual belief that I was the best in the world and that there was nobody out there that could beat me, that really was solidified, I think, in 2004. And when I solidified that in 2004, it gave me 4 years to believe that I was the best in the world, and then to also believe that if I did what I knew I could do, there was nobody that could beat me. And so 4 years of training and believing that is a long time. And so when I got to the games, I really believed it. I didn't think there was anybody that could beat me, and I didn't think I had to be 100% to win the gold. I just felt like I needed to go out and do what I do every day, just compete. And if I did that, I'd walk away with the gold. I think in any event in track and field, it's easy to get injured because there's so many things that are going on with your body all at one split second. And so you've got so many muscles firing, so many forces working against each other, and so you've got to be careful. It's a very fine line between giving 100% and then giving too much. And being dangerous. And so most of that risk, I think, comes with practice. In practice, it's, I think an elite athlete is going to be somebody that's always pushing to be better. And a lot of times, my coaches are the ones that have to tell me, Bryan, no, that's the last time. And I'll say, no, I'm just going to do one more. And they'll be like, no, that's the last one. And I'll say, and then there's other times where they let me, where I'll stay out here and do an hour of one mores, trying to figure something out. So my coaches were really good about noticing that, and they've got certain things that they're watching for when they can tell that my body's starting to break down, or when I've had enough. And even though I want to go on mentally, they'll cut me off, and that's because we've learned over the years. I mean, if you've watched my career, you'll see where injuries have taken me out of competitions that I should have done very, very well in. Most of the competitions that I got hurt in, I was in the lead. So yeah, we've learned a pretty, I think, important lesson through all those, and we definitely took that into this year, 2008. I think if I hadn't won the gold, I would have been disappointed. Not because of the color of the medal, but I think I would have been disappointed because I would not have competed the way I would have liked to have. I know that I'm the best in the world. When you add all 10 events up, I know that I'm the best in the world. If you add all 10 of my PBs up, I'm the best in the world. When it comes down to the PBs too. There's absolutely no reason if I go out and do my job. And I'm not talking about having PBs in every event, but if I go out and do my job, there's absolutely no reason in the world why I should get beat. None. And so if I had come home with anything other than the gold, I would have been happy that I had won a medal again, of course, and it would have been nice. It would have been my second Olympics, and of course I would have had 2 medals, which not very many decathletes have ever done. But I would have been disappointed because I wouldn't have competed to the standard that I expect myself to. Getting I guess you could say being crowned the world's greatest athlete and winning the gold medal at the Olympics this year, and being able to accept that that passing of the torch from Roman it's fun. It's just fun. I mean, for me, I wouldn't have wanted to get it from anybody else. I don't think there's anybody else out there, a competitor out there, that's as gracious as Roman is, and that's as supportive as Roman is. I don't think a lot of people know. I mean, Roman and I were chatting the whole time during the games this year, and of course it wasn't going well for Roman. It was kind of started going downhill and then just got worse and worse and worse. And I completely understand where he was at because I've been there many times. And we were sitting down in the javelin, and I had just taken my second throw, and I sat next to Roman, and I looked at him and I said, Roman, I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. I said, I'm so tired. I don't know what I'm going to do. And he looked at me and he said, Bryan, you have nothing to worry about. He's like, if you just finish the 1500, the gold is yours. And I said, Roman, that's what I'm worried about. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to finish because I was so exhausted. I mean, I honestly had nothing left. And Roman said, Bryan, you'll be fine. He said, I know what you feel like. You'll be fine. And I said, well, I'm going to need your help. I said, I'm going to need your help in the 15 because I said, I don't think I can do it by myself. I'm going to really need your help. And he said, Bryan, I'm not running the 1500 meters. And I looked at him and I was like, Roman, what do you mean you're not running the 1500? You have to run the 1500. I said, you're the world record holder. To some degree, I look up to you. You're the world record holder. You're the Olympic medal champion from 2004. I said, I was there when you ran the 1500 in Athens and was able to celebrate with you. I said, it just wouldn't be right if you don't finish this meet and aren't here to celebrate with me. And so he kind of hemmed and hawed, and he said, okay, fine, I'll run, but I won't run fast. He said, don't look at me to run fast. And he paced me through the first 2 laps of the 15, and I fell off, and it hurt him bad. I mean, if you guys saw him, he was down on the track, and I mean, absolutely exhausted. But he was there for me. He helped me, and so for me to be able to take that crown from him, from somebody like that, it was just special. It was really nice. I don't know if there was time to think while I was running the 1500. There was so much going through my mind. I mean, the loudest voice in my head was, just finish. You just got to get across the line. Don't cramp. Don't have an asthma attack. Don't pass out. Don't do any of those types of things. You just got to finish. And about I'd say about halfway through the 1500 is when I got to the second lap, and I was doing okay time-wise, not great, but I was doing okay. And I tried to pick it up a little bit because I was like, okay, here we go. And I just had nothing left, and I thought to myself, okay, well, all we got to do now is just finish the race. And so I came around, of course I started to fall off pace, and I came around, and and I just finished the race, and it wasn't my all-time highlight of the Olympics, coming around the 1500 and getting dead last. But I think there's something to be said about about the way that I, taking that one event and comparing it to the other 9. I think overall it was an excellent Olympic Games for me. I don't think you can look at the 1500, and I know there's a lot of people out there that'll look at the 1500 and say, oh, well, Bryan didn't run hard and he didn't, he didn't even try in the 15. And my answer to that would be, but I did try in the 1500. First of all, I ran, what I always run. I don't run much faster than that, and not only that, but I won the gold medal. I mean, look at the other 9. I had the lead from the first event to the 10th event. Never gave it up. I mean, I don't know how people can take one event and look and call my success not a success or poor success. So. Well, I'm getting back into the rhythm of things. I think at this point in the season, it's always difficult coming off of just relaxing and not having anything, not even thinking about track. To all of a sudden, you're thrown back into the cycle, and you've got to come out here and your thinking changes and lifestyle changes again, and so it's it's a little difficult getting used to it all again. But for the most part, this is my job. This is how it goes. You take a few weeks to get back into the swing of things, and you just get through the workouts, and pretty soon, before you know it, the year's halfway over and you're starting to compete again, and next thing you know, you're at world championships again, and then then you're taking a break again. So this was definitely the longest break I've taken since before 2004. And so it's nice to get a nice break like that. It's probably been 8 years since I've taken this long of a break, and it's been right around 8 weeks. So it's been good. Well, I still have some records that I can go after. I mean, there's the American record, of course, Dan O'Brien's record, and then there's the world record. And not only that, but I think it's time for me just to have fun now. I've been working, trying to, I've been working the last few years. And I was working towards this one goal, and it was consuming everything about what I was doing. And now I get to train and actually enjoy it and have fun and go out, and I can try to go for records, and if it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, no big deal. But either way, I think it's going to free me up mentally, like I said, to enjoy what I'm doing and to really fall in love with the event even more. And I think that's when world records get broken. I think when you're just having fun, that's when world records and American records and all those other records start to go down.